Have you ever felt like you're trying so hard, yet going nowhere? You do a lot, but nothing seems to change. You look back and ask yourself, am I going the wrong way? I used to feel that way. I thought if I worked harder, slept less, pushed more, everything would change. But no, I only ended up more exhausted. Then I started blaming the world. Why don't I have the same opportunities as others? Why am I always unlucky? Why does life seem against me? Until one day, I came across a simple line. You can't change your life unless you change your mindset. At first, I didn't understand. What does mindset have to do with it? It's not like I'm thinking wrong, I'm just struggling. Right, but the more I lived, the more I realised how we think about life shapes how we live it. Think back for a moment. How many times did you not even try, and yet told yourself, I probably can't do it. People like me won't make it. Let's not dream too big. Those aren't truths. They are invisible limits we placed on ourselves. And the scariest part, we believe them like they're facts. I carried so many limiting beliefs in my head that I needed a perfect degree to succeed, that only people with connections could rise, that if I failed once, it was over. But then I met people with no fancy background, no privilege, no advantage, and yet they kept going, step by step, day by day. They didn't have a victim mindset. They had a mindset that said, I take responsibility for my own life. And the moment I started thinking that way, everything began to shift. I won't lie. Changing your mindset isn't a one-night epiphany. It's a journey, every single day. You have to re-choose how you see the world. You have to dare to question, why do I believe this? Is there a better way to see this? If I thought differently, could I live differently? I used to see failure as the end. Now, I see it as part of the process. I used to think I was less than others. Now, I think everyone has a different path. I used to wait until I was ready. Now, I start first and learn along the way. Changing your mindset won't make you a genius, but it makes you the active version of yourself. You stop living by should and start living by choose to. You stop asking, can I, and start asking, what do I need to learn? And most importantly, you stop fearing mistakes, because you know, old thinking can be replaced. You don't need to punish yourself for it. Your 20s are the best time to do this, because you're still not locked in. You still have time to reprogram your internal system. No one is born with a perfect mindset, but everyone can train their thinking. Think differently today, act differently tomorrow, and a year from now, you'll be living a different life. So if you feel stuck, lost, or directionless, don't rush to change your job, your city, or your circle. First, try changing how you see yourself, because when your mindset changes, the way you live, love, and work, it all begins to change too. And you'll no longer just get through life. You'll be someone who is building the life they want, building. Have you ever felt too small to make any real change? Have you ever asked yourself, I'm just an ordinary person, what difference can I make? I used to think that way. I believed that to succeed, I had to be extraordinary, had to be more than average, had to stand out. But then, one day, something happened that changed my thinking forever. It was an afternoon in a soft skills class. My teacher, a man who loved to ask tough, uncomfortable questions, asked us, stand up and share something you're truly proud of about yourself. The room went silent. No one moved. No one spoke. I looked around, so many bright, young faces, and yet everyone looked down. 1 minute passed, then 2. Still, no one stood up. Then, one slow hand was raised. A young man stood up, his voice trembling. I'm proud that I dared to retake a subject I'd failed twice. No one laughed. Instead, soft but genuine applause filled the room, not for the achievement, but for the courage it took to say that out loud. And then something amazing happened. More people stood up to share their stories. One person was proud to have overcome depression. Another was proud for saying no for the first time in their life. Someone else was proud, simply for not giving up. None of them were superheroes. They were just ordinary people, with small beliefs. But those small beliefs unlocked big changes. That day, I realised something. You don't always need big accomplishments to feel enough. Sometimes, all it takes is the belief that you can be better than yesterday, and that's enough to change the direction of your life. We often judge ourselves too harshly. We think if we're not fast, not gifted, not perfect, we have no chance. But the truth is, every transformation begins with a small belief. A small belief is applying for the job, even when you don't feel ready. Starting again, even after repeated failure. Speaking up, even when your voice shakes. A small belief is quiet, but it is the first step to everything that matters. Without that first step, nothing moves forward. If you're asking yourself, am I good enough? Can I really do this? Remember this, nobody begins with certainty. Even the successful ones felt unsure just like you. The only difference, they dared to believe just a little that they could, and so they began. So today, if you feel stuck, confused, or doubtful, I'm not asking you to change the whole world. I just want you to begin with one small belief. The belief that you don't have to be perfect to have value. The belief that every day, you can move forward one small step at a time. The belief that you deserve to live a meaningful life. And sometimes, that's all it takes. To stand up and say that belief out loud. Because who knows? You might inspire an entire room, just like that student once inspired me. I have a close friend. We went to the same high school. When we graduated, I got into a top university. He didn't pass the entrance exam. He chose to go to vocational school. At the time, I thought, what a shame. He's falling behind. While I was studying theory, giving presentations, writing papers, he was working as a construction helper, fixing electricity, learning to cut hair, learning to mix coffee. Meanwhile, I was chasing GPA and internships at big companies. Time passed. I graduated, started applying for jobs, competing with other applicants. And him? He opened a small barbershop, then a little coffee stall. Then he started teaching others his skills. One day, I visited his shop to get a haircut. He was still the same simple, cheerful, but as I looked around, I realised something. I had been wrong. I used to think, the faster you go, the better you are. The sooner you graduate, the more successful you are. But it turns out everyone has their own finish line, and there's no stopwatch that can measure quiet persistence. You know what's special about him? Not talent, not luck, but consistency. He wasn't better than me, but he didn't compare, he didn't rush, he didn't quit. He simply worked with himself day by day, silently, steadily, and that made all the difference. That moment taught me something valuable. Not everyone who finishes first is winning. Sometimes, the real winner is the one still walking, who never stopped. Society often tells us, you must succeed early, you must outshine others, you must be fast. But in truth, you only need to be faster than the version of you from yesterday. If today, you feel like you're falling behind, watching your friends build careers, wealth, relationships, while you're still figuring things out, please, don't lose heart. Moving slowly doesn't mean you're losing. Taking a different path doesn't mean you're lost. You just need to keep going, believe in your journey, and walk forward even when no one claps for you. Because in the end, success doesn't belong to the fastest. It belongs to the one who never stops walking. Thank you for listening. I hope you keep moving, even if it's not fast. Because value isn't measured by speed. It's measured by your refusal to quit.